We're on the big stage. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to a most remarkable time, a very special celebration, very unique dive into something that is ancient and brand new, something that is we're right on the edge of growing consciousness that is also ancient as the universe. Vibrational intelligence, music, consciousness, and global peace on this high-level political forum with the United Nations, a perfect setting. Vibrational intelligence is inherent and universal. Music as a form of vibration is a universal language and transcends cultural, political, and geographic boundaries. Emerging research and long-standing cultural traditions affirm that music can foster coherence, empathy, emotional regulation, and social bonding, all foundational to peaceful and resilient societies. Historic global events have shown that music can unify millions of people in common purpose, creating moments of heightened connection that transcend geographic, cultural, and political boundaries. Hezekiah.
Oh my goodness. David, I am experiencing deja vu. It's like being on those stages that you and I have been on, and just being in total wonder and awe of the talent that we're bringing forward today. I'm so honored and delighted for each of the individuals here today, and for those who have not known all of them. Let me say, you are in for the biggest treat, and that treat is about vibrational intelligence and its connection to expanding our consciousness through music. We hope this short time together will be an experience of expanded consciousness that moves you or changes you in some way or ways, small or large. We believe that that will be true. So, welcome everyone to this experience. It's not an event, it's an experience. So, to get us started in the right way, I'm just honored and delighted to bring forward Tammy Briggs to do a meditation with her harp. Tammy is one of the Pathways to Peace family members. We so love and honor her and her work. And we start every one of our presentations or our events with meditation. And even though we're going to bring Tammy back later for a presentation, I couldn't resist asking her to start this event with a harp meditation. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah. Thank you, Tez. It's such an honor to be with you all, and I see lots of familiar faces, which just warms my heart dearly. I love you all. The song that I've selected for this meditation is Dona Nobis Pacem, which means grant us peace. And this is really in honor of Joni Cardelli, who loves this song. And Joni is a co-founder of Pathways to Peace and has been working with the United Nations for over 40 years. And I know many of the rest of you will also enjoy this song. And as we move into this meditation, I would invite you to place your hand on your heart and breathe love into your heart. And maybe take your pulse. How are you doing? There's lots of excitement here with this amazing topic. So we're breathing in love and breathing out peace. And on the next inhalation, a little bit more love, more peace. And let the music touch you wherever you need to be touched.
That's so beautiful, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And before we enter into the next part of our program with you, I would be remiss in not giving gratitude to two exceptional human beings that are here today that make this program possible. And one of them is Gary Malkin, who you will be hearing from later. But Gary's composition, Scaling the Universe, was playing when you came into the room. I hope you had the opportunity to hear that and experience that beautiful piece. Gary, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. And our amazing tech superhero, Emma DBAce. And thank you, Emma. She's been with us for many years, since she was, I don't know, 12 or 13. And she is just a tech guru. Emma, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And now it is just my honor and delight to introduce to all of you Dr. Jude Currivan. When David and I moved to really create this event on vibrational intelligence, what came to mind immediately for me was that Jude just had to speak to give us the big picture from my perspective, and Jude will tell us in truth, from my perspective, vibrational intelligence is the cosmos, the universe. And so I'm just so delighted that Jude said yes. Thank you, Jude. So Dr. Jude Currivan is a cosmologist, planetary healer, futurist, author, and co-founder of Whole World View. She was previously one of the most senior business women in the UK, has a master's degree in physics from Oxford University, specializing in quantum physics and cosmology, and a PhD in anthropological archaeology from the University of Reading, researcher in ancient cosmologies. She has traveled to nearly 80 countries and worked with wisdom keepers from many traditions. And her extensive experience and knowledge of world events, systems, and trends has led her to speak in many countries, in the UK, the United States, Europe, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and others. She's a lifelong researcher into the scientific and experiential understanding of the nature of reality, integrating leading edge science and research into consciousness, into universal wisdom teachings, and a holistic worldview. She is an award-winning author of 7 books. In 2017, she co-founded Whole World View to communicate the emerging paradigm of unified reality and to serve the understanding, experiencing, and embodying of unity awareness to empower conscious evolution. She really has it all, and we're so grateful you're here, Jude. The floor is yours.
Tez, thank you very, very much. And it is truly wonderful to be with you all and sharing this understanding, which, as David said, we're gaining deeper understanding of vibrational intelligence. But music has been part of our human journey from the very beginning. And music is such a wonderful way, as you were sharing. And Tammy, thank you so much for that exquisite meditation for us. But music has been our companion on this journey from the get-go. I was in a cave in Spain a couple of years ago with stalactites and stalagmites. And as an archaeologist, I was interested in seeing that something like 100,000 years ago, that people had come into that cave with stones and bones and played the stalactites and stalagmites, and the whole cave was acoustic. It must have been extraordinary to be part of that sort of living field of music that long ago. And as David said, you know, vibration intelligence is as ancient as the universe. So as a cosmologist, what I'm sharing today is really the emergent understanding of unitive, unified reality, as Tez mentioned. We've been born into a world with a Western mindset of mechanization and materiality and separation, to the extent that I sometimes describe as having a dis-ease of separation. And because in that separation, we don't feel we're creating music other than when we can try to, but our communities have lost so much in our communities, our communal playing together of the vibration intelligence that really is our foundational reality. So that worldview of separation and mechanization and materiality, the evidence now is turning that not only on its head, but inside out. And this for me is really important, because when we talk about vibrational intelligence, we're not really talking about here. We're talking about the way our whole body responds, our heart's open. This is far more than an intellectual understanding. It's truly the wholeness. We literally vibrate with the vibration. How can we not? So this new understanding is replacing that old mindset of separation with one of a universe that both meaningfully exists and purposely evolves from simplicity to complexity, an individual self-awareness that can experience music and can experience vibrations in the way that we do. And it's also at the very foundation showing that it is an intelligent universe. It's a living universe. And it's a universe which reflects the ancient understanding that mind and consciousness aren't something we have. They are literally what we and the whole world are. So expanding our consciousness and being with vibrational intelligence as the way shower, as an invitation. Let's dance with this. Let's play with this. Let's sing with this. Let's move our bodies with this, because this is who we are. And, you know, we even describe our universe, universe, one song. That is the very name we give our world. And the way that the energy and matter of the experience of our world at all scales is quantized. That's a sort of a sciencey word, but all it means is note, really. It means packet of energy or note. So all the energy and matter of our universe is quantized as notes of that vibrational intelligence at all scales in relationship. The ancient understanding, certainly the Greek understanding, talked about geometry, which is all about relationship, being number in space, and music being number in time. So together, this relationship of geometry and music and is the structure, is the organization of the vibrational intelligence of our universe. And it does so in this packaged way, this note-like way, because we couldn't have music without notes. We couldn't have vibration intelligence if all the vibrations just ran together and rather than being differentiated. So literally, our entire universe is a cosmic symphony of which we are microcosms. And when we open our hearts and our bodies and all that we are to its vibration intelligence, it seems to me that it invites us into this ongoing and emergent dance of potential and possibility. And it does so together. I love dancing around the kitchen table to ABBA. But I really love dancing with my husband and friends. I was leading a spiritual journey to Egypt many years ago, and we'd had a long journey. It was a wonderful journey. But at the end of the day, we ended up in a little cafe in Upper Egypt, and there was a little jukebox, and they put Motown on. And we all got up on the chairs and we were dancing, and it was just wonderful. And the guide said, Jude, I thought you were a spiritual group. I said, that's why we're dancing. But I'll finish by just sharing that our universe began its vibrational intelligence in music. The ancient tradition is in the beginning was the word. That is vibrational intelligence. And we now know as a cosmologist, when we go back to 13.8 billion years to the first moment of our universe, which I describe not as a big bang, but as an ongoing big breath to sing its song. It literally, in the first 400,000 or so years, was so hot that it was only after that time when space had expanded and time had flowed, but space expanded and cooled down, that it was transparent to light, still vibration, still frequency, still wavelength. But for those first 400,000 years, although our universe was not transparent to light, it was to sound. And the best modeling we have of that time is that sound pulsed through our early universe. The ancients talk about a primordial Om, 3 notes into Om of creation. That is how our universe began. And even the best modeling shows it was 3 notes. It was a chord of creation that continues to now and will continue for the rest of its life. But what a beautiful birthing. What a beautiful embodiment and expression of universal consciousness and vibrational intelligence. And so thank you, everyone. I'll pass back to you, Tez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
Dr. Currivan. Just take in for a moment what Jude shared that really resonates with you. What is it? Wow, that's important. Because what we're doing, we are in evolution. We, as human beings, as the universe, we're in evolution. And we're being more awake and conscious of our conscious evolution. And fundamentally, it's how we enhance our life on this physical planet. But being smart in this way, looking into the focus and the vibration of music. So let me introduce Tammy. You've heard a bit about her, but let me tell you a bit about Tammy, who is most amazing. And Tammy is a therapeutic harpist, recording artist, author, speaker, educator, and co-founder of Music Reflections. Tammy provides guided harp meditations to heal and comfort and bring inner and outer peace. Tammy also brings a new healing modality called Healings of Harmonic Light, which combines powerful words, the harp's harmonics, and working with the body's light. Tammy is a pioneer in the use of vibration and consciousness. Well, Tammy.
Thank you, David. Oh my gosh. So, Taz is the executive director of Pathways to Peace, and David is the president. And when the two of them asked me to be a part of this 5-person panel, I felt like I had arrived. Like, literally, I have been working on vibrational healing for, well, the last 6 years very intensively, and actually a lot longer than that. But to have this sponsored by the United Nations is just super amazing, and I believe it really speaks to how the world is changing, and very rapidly. Yes, we have a ways to go, but it's certainly changing, and there's an openness to this topic. I'm Tammy Briggs, and I've been playing the harp for 37 years, almost 37 years. And I grew up playing piano and clarinet, but when I came to the harp as a 30-year-old young adult, I felt like I had come home. This is truly my instrument. And after I began taking lessons and playing out and about, I happened upon the International Harp Therapy Program, and they were just starting, and I decided to study in that program. I was in the first graduating class in 1996, and when I came back, I started doing hospital and hospice bedside work, and I did that work for almost 25 years. And then when COVID came along, I was no longer invited into the healthcare setting. They didn't want me to bring COVID in, and they didn't want me to get COVID. So I really took some time to discern what I wanted to do next. And what kept coming to me is I wanted to play for world peace. And through networking, I ended up connecting with Pathways to Peace, and it became an instant love affair. And since that time, I've been blessed to play for lots and lots of different events within the world peace movement. And now what I see with my role in the world peace movement is really using the harp as a bridge. And it's a bridge between healing and peace. And so if you think about almost like two buckets, we've got the healing modalities and we want inner peace. And what I see is the harp is a bridge connecting healing and peace. And we know everybody on here I know is doing their inner work. You're doing that heavy lifting of learning more and more about yourself to create even deeper awarenesses. And as you're doing that, your healing contributes to that peace. And there's so much I can say about the harp, but I want to just say one thing, and that is the harp is a very paradoxical instrument. And it's paradoxical in that it's incredibly gentle, but it's also really powerful. And in that paradox, the gentleness is the peace, and the power is the healing. And so my hope and my work is always about to create that healing container to bring people to inner peace. And the vibrational magic of the harp is really the harmonics. When you play one string, that's middle C. For those of musicians, you know middle C is in the middle of the keyboard, and literally on the harp, it's the harmonics are ringing the thirds, the fifths, the octaves, and they're going both up and down. And that's what makes the harp so vibrational and so magical. So I want to share something that has been coming in for the last 15 months or so, and they're called Harmonic Light Codes. And I'll give you a little bit of background about these, and then I'm going to play and give you the experiential component. So in April of 2025, so about 15 months ago, I was in Egypt, and Jude mentioned Egypt. There might be a theme here today, I'm not sure. Anyway, we got to see all the magnificent sights, and one of the sights that we saw was the Isis temple. And we had a ceremony in there, and I honestly was caught by surprise at how profound the Isis temple was. And the actual sanctuary, the altar that you go into in the temple, is pitch black. And we had 5 little tea lights set up on the altar, and that was the only light for all of our group of 14 people. And we finished this beautiful ceremony, and then our leader said, "Tammy, this would be a really good time for you to play." The only problem was it was pitch black in there. I couldn't see the strings, and so I literally had to play wherever my hands were guided. Now, some of you know in the harp therapy programs, we have to learn to improvise, and that was incredibly difficult for me. And so now to play wherever my hands are guided, you have got to be kidding. But it happened, and what I realized when I came back, as I was reflecting on the entire trip, is in the darkness came harmonic light codes. And so for the last 15 months, I have been working with these every day for at least an hour, and I feel like I'm in a playground. I'm having so much fun with these, and they're basically channeled in, and whatever is happening in the moment and whatever energetically is supposed to be shared and expressed vibrationally is what comes through. It comes actually into my right ear, which is where the harp sits on my right shoulder, and then comes down through my arms and my hands. So I want to give you the experiential feeling of one of these, and this is literally channeled for our group today. And as we begin, again, you may want to place your hand on your heart to take your pulse and breathe beautiful love into your heart and radiate out peace. And on the next breath, even more love, rippling out even more peace. And let the music touch you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, wherever you need in this moment. And as we come back together, I want to share just a little bit more about these harmonic light codes. They're expansive vibrational patterns that bridge earth and the angelic realms. And the harp is, because of the strings in a vertical plane, it's the earth. They connect to the earth and they connect to the heavens, the angelic realms. And these harmonic light codes are really bypassing the mind and touching the soul, speaking directly to the body in a vibrational language that goes beyond words. And when I'm playing these every day, my sincere intention and hope is that they are always about vibrational healing and peace. And harmonic light codes are also a reminder of our light. And I want to share a mystical experience that happened to me actually just 4 days ago on Sunday. I was with my elderly mom, and she lives in Lexington, Kentucky. And my mom is 89 years old, and she's very frail. And she had a very severe stroke right before I actually went to Egypt. And she lost all of her eyesight except for 20% in one eye. And that has been incredibly devastating for her, as it would be for any of us. And on Sunday, she asked me to take her to her church. And so I took her to her church. And when the minister started giving his sermon, my mom was sitting to the left of me, and I looked over at my mom to make sure that she was comfortable as he was beginning his talk. And when I saw my mom, there's a skylight in the middle of this church, and from the skylight was beaming down this huge beam of light directly to my mom. Not anywhere else around us, only to my mom. And it was a moment. I thought, oh my gosh, this light is going to carry her right into her eternal light. I can tell you, I have no idea what that minister said on the pulpit. I was completely in the sacred witness of her. And it really strikes me that I know on this call today, and I think we've got like 166 people, which is absolutely amazing. Many of you are light workers. And as a light worker, our jobs are to watch for points of light, but also as we're going through these big ascension times, to really embody our light and to integrate and to bring it into our bodies and be our fullest expressions. And I would invite us today to think about how music can be a way for us to connect to our light and even be of more light.
And that's wonderful, Tammy. Thank you.
Can I just finish one more thing, David?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quickly.
So the harmonic light codes, these are encrypted with increasing awareness, expanding consciousness, bringing in unity, remembering who we are and what we are here for. And when we are in all of that, we are contributing to the unified field. And when enough of us are in that unified field of high vibration of peace, love, light, and harmony, we will have world peace, because that's what we have. That is vibrational healing, and my sincere hope, may it be so. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy, and may it be so. Yes, beautiful. Again, just take in for a moment what you received from Tammy, what touched your heart, what was inspiring. Just be aware of what you're receiving as gifts, as inspirations. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Gary Malkin. And Mr. Gary Malkin, he and I have known each other since Gary was 18, a student at Oberlin College in his music journey. So Gary, it's a delight to have you here. And you're one of the reasons that we're doing this. It's all the inspiration. Let me tell you a bit about Gary. Gary is a multiple Emmy Award-winning composer, public speaker, performer, music and health innovator who empowers the world to embrace music as a catalyst for a more meaningful life. He is dedicated to refining music's role in society, with particular focus on developing musical strategies to cultivate greater heart and soul integration in healthcare, corporate leadership, online protocols, and global healing. His work features a spoken word and music delivery system for heart-soul coherence entitled Alchemical Wisdom, supporting people listening to wisdom not only in the mind, but with the heart and soul as well. Welcome, Gary.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, how wonderful to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I want to invite all of you to put it on gallery view for a moment. For a moment, I want you to and go to 1 through 7. We have 7 pages, right? And just start to feel the depth and breadth of this gathering and how merging the beautiful wisdom of Jude Currivan, setting the tone for that level of wisdom about cosmology and the power of this theme, right? And just the power of Zoom, where all we have to do is allow music to have its destiny with us, right? So generative music, not all music's made the same. And so, but my TEDx talk that I just did last January was really about what if it was as simple as allowing music to slow us down in an age where we're addicted to the speed, the certainty, and the control that we've become so habituated to, called our linear, rational, frontal lobe way of operating, right? And so what if we just took this moment? I'm just going to give you an example. I'm going to play a piece of music that I created for spoken word with Sarah McCrum, but then listen to how just slowing down and allowing ourselves without anything to look at, right? Just listen to this for a minute. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna, did I share? I don't think I shared yet, did I? No, here we go. Share screen, share the audio. Where are we? How do we get to share the audio? I can't access it for some reason. I can't reach that part of my...
Share sound. It's a little box you check.
No, it's not that. It said for the first time I can't even see it. All right, so here I'll do. To share the sound, it's not letting me. So that's interesting. I've never had it before.
If you go to the share screen button and then click more.
Share screen. No, I can't access that part of the Zoom. So I'm just going to not worry about it right now. We're going to continue because I have only 10 minutes. So, yes. Because I don't think you'll be able to hear this if I don't play it. Can you hear this?
Yes.
So it's not ideal sound, but just allow yourself to let the silent embrace of beauty itself in sound slow us down enough. And if the metaphor of the attack of a piano is doing, thinking, fixing, allowing, and the space is being. Most music is created with an implicit energetic watermark from the composer that says, listen to me. And I've been fascinated with how music could be watermarked with an intention to say, listen to you. You notice how it's very hard to find music that has this kind of spaciousness. But when we can transform our capacity for our boundaries to melt and to sense the unified field we're all a part of, suddenly Zoom becomes this incredible opportunity to cultivate the muscle of feeling unity consciousness. And what I've learned is when we slow down, you don't need anyone to guide you on how to feel your heart. It naturally comes into play. Your gut, you feel your body more. This meat soup, we are asked to be awakened with embodied consciousness. Our soul intelligence. Naturally, we start to become energetically curious. And suddenly the melting boundaries of our persona become a we. Naturally, and as you scroll on the screen and you see every single human being is part of the plasma of the unity consciousness we're a part of. And suddenly music shared becomes collective prayer. And our vibrational intelligence grows into something even more profound. So I'm going to stop there for a minute. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay. I didn't know I'd start that way, but I'll turn up volume. I didn't know I'd start that way, but I'm glad I did, because music, when it's created to generate that sense of we, the journey to we, I believe it's fulfilling a destiny. Because we're now in a world we're in a world where there's a pandemic, an epidemic of global proportion. I call it awareness fragmentation disorder. As a composer, I don't have a PhD or an MD at the end of my name. I have a MBU, a musical blessing unit. It's my terminology for myself, right? And I came up with the awareness fragmentation disorder to sound like it was a special term that you'd find in one of those medical books, because it's what we are all afflicted with, is either subjugating or undermining or erasing or avoiding our natural access to the multiple human intelligences, because our humanity is the ultimate competitive and most sophisticated technology available to us in an AI world. Our humanity is awakened by the universal language of human emotion. So I don't even know, I'm terrible about time. So just, Tez, if somebody, you can just give me 2 minutes with the little finger up, because I can go on. I'm so passionate about this. But I have discovered when vibrational intelligence first came into the scene, Eve Constantine, God rest her soul, a phenomenal being who died a few years ago unexpectedly, is the first person of record, to my knowledge, if you go to Google, that came up with the term. And she's a beloved friend of mine, and she was in Santa Barbara. And I went, vibrational intelligence, that's my brand, that's my life, that's my work. And we had a big conversation about it, because how she defined it was different. She had a little resistance to me taking it on because it was her term. And she wanted to write a book about it. And so I backed off. And then I realized vibrational intelligence is the capacity to feel the field energetically, right? And it's very important, right, for us to understand the vibrational that is emitting in the field and even in ourselves, right? But resonance intelligence is also extremely important because everything vibrates. It's the common denominator of the universe, right? But when two vibrations are in complete alignment, when the frequencies are aligned, like strings that vibrate sympathetically, that's resonance intelligence. And resonance intelligence is what's required now, as the Holo movement says, as the radical, most important thing we can learn now is collaborative, co-creative capacity to listen and sense and align so that we can become human tuning forks. And that's why I asked Pathways to Peace to co-create this event called We Rise as One, so that everything I've spent my life on since I left Hollywood in 2000 was about understanding that we can't create outer peace without inner peace. But here's the thing that we avoid flagrantly in our culture. We can't have inner peace if we don't understand how to metabolize trauma and grief and loss. And in a culture that focuses so much on young age and focused young, and we don't want to avoid longevity, we don't want to die, right? The gift of understanding how to process the work that I'm doing with the phenomenal author and intuitive guide who's on the call, Hope Fitzgerald. I love you to pieces. You're my favorite gift of my life. And we changed the Graceful Passages program we developed, Graceful Passages from Grief to Gratitude, the official training from Graceful Passages to Love Your Life, awakening to the beauty of being alive. And when we can process grief, loss, and trauma, we become musical blessing units. We become peace factories. We become members of the unified field that understands that there's no such thing as a pregnant pause. There's only an invitation into melting our boundaries into the we that we are. So I think I probably covered it. I don't know. I don't know if I have extra time, I'll fill it. But David, if you give me another bone, I'll probably take it. So
I think it's
I just want to say that the greatest privilege of my life has been embodied in the experience we co-created at Graceful Passages in September 27th. And we developed this template for something we want to bring to other cities around the world. And I'm going to put it in the chat. You'll find out about it. It's globalwisdomfoundation.org/We Rise as One with hyphenates. I'll put it in the chat. But what I learned from teaming up with Hezekiah and David, missed out, Amikaela, but the next one, you're going to be in that for sure, babe. And Fred Johnson, God bless you, you're here. I hope you'll be participating. But I learned more about collaboration by co-creating the We Rise as One, which is why I'm so excited about doing it in 2027, possibly in Prague. But what I just want to say as the last thing is, let's not forget that there is a way to use music for its destiny to help us resolve and release and awaken to the beauty of being alive by not being afraid to dive into how we've calcified our lives by not understanding how to resolve grief, loss, and trauma. It's the gateway to the we. It's the gateway to unity consciousness. And so vibrational intelligence is the gateway to resonance intelligence. David and Tez, I love you. Our partnership has been sacred to me. And I'm so honored to have been invited to this beautiful gathering. I hope I've added some value to understanding that this intelligence is like the dark matter. It's like it's like 95% of the brain. This is the next phase of our humanity, is awakening to that which we cannot see, but that we will be able to grow into feeling as human tuning forks. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We love you so, beloved brother. And you are such a master of vibrational intelligence. And we feel so blessed by the work we've been able to do with you and your generous heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And Tez, I just forgot, I'm going to put in the chat the Thrive soundtracks, of which you played that track from Thrive.
Yes.
It's available for the first time ever as both soundtracks on everywhere music is streamed. So just look for Thrive on anywhere I am, and it'll be there. And check it out on this. I'll put a little text together for everybody. But beautiful. I love you, Tez. Thank you, dear. I hope I didn't go over too much. I always do.
We're good.
All right. Good.
Take care. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness, everyone. I hope you're feeling this lift in your own vibrational intelligence. We all have it. It's the awareness of it, the tuning into it that we need to be about. So thank you, Gary. And now it's just such a pleasure to introduce my beloved sister, Amikaela Gaston. I love Amikaela so much. She is one of the most incredible women I've ever known. Aww. And I'm so grateful that she's here. So Amikaela is an award-winning vocalist, sound healer, behavioral scientist, and cultural arts ambassador for the U.S. State Department, hailed by NPR as one of the purest contemporary voices. Founder of the International Cultural Arts and Healing Sciences Institute, she has spent nearly 3 decades carrying her music as medicine work. Tone, breath, and shared rhythm as nervous system healing into war-torn regions and centers of collective trauma, in partnership with the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and Embassies worldwide. Winner of 8 Washington Area Music Association Awards and the International Hero for Peace and Forgiveness Award. She teaches one truth: peace is not only signed, it is sung. And with that, beloved sister, I give you the floor. Amikaela Gaston.
Thank you so much, my love. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Can you all see that? Okay, good. I hope so. Let me know if you don't.
Not quite, at least on this.
Is that
there it comes?
Okay. By and by, when the morning comes, my sweet mama will carry me home. She will tell me the story of how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. Oh, by and by, when morning comes. Oh, my sweet Father will carry me home. He will tell me the story, how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. And we'll understand it better by and by. That's my daddy. He just passed away in September. He was a drummer. I know, I love him so much. And he would sing this beautiful lullaby to me. And so I'm so grateful to be here and be able to share this moment with all of you. My name is Amikaela, and I've been vibrating. Talk about vibrational energy. I can't I can't take it. It's so much. Good thing we have mute, because I'm like, yeah, Gary, talk about it. Like I'm screaming and hollering the whole time. I'm like, oh my God. So I am just here to say thank you all once again for allowing me to be in this space and look at the science of humming and drumming and being in vibrational alignment with each other, because one single sound, one rhythm can reshape the body, quiet the brain, and bring a community together to create a culture of peace, because we are created by sound. Oh, we are created by the song of the universe. We are created by sound. We are created by the song of the universe. Singing with the trees, singing with the song of the universe, singing with the whales, singing with the honeybees. And can I tell you, I got some bees this spring, and they really do sing. They are very loud. The whole yard is like, they really, really make a lot of noise. So much so I was like, wow, maybe this is your yard now. And I'll just visit from time to time. But honestly, there are so many studies now about rhythmic and tonal recalibration. It's incredible because it's very exciting. Back in my day, when I first started down this rabbit hole in the 90s, there was barely anything. It was just Joseph Campbell and the Mozart effect, which inspired me to look deeper and write my thesis on expanding the Eurocentric classic music lens with respect to accessing the full scope of healing through the universe of sound literally available to us. And, you know, there was limited knowledge and study and language about the physiological effects of drumming, let alone singing. There was barely anything. It was written off as woo-woo, alt complementary science. I'm sure we can all understand that and how we get kind of pigeonholed into this place of like, oh, it's not really science. But we're here now. We're talking about vibrational elements that constitute physiological intelligence. And that is incredible. And so several studies conducted several decades ago reported in the American Medical Journal of Respiration and Critical Care that both humming and drumming changes your neurological and physiological chemistry. And so when we think about these things, you know, I come from scientific parents, so we won't live too long in the world of science, but my mom, who was the Assistant Surgeon General for 5 presidents, she always would start these sentences, studies have shown. And so we would know, we would tease her all the time because anything coming out of her mouth was going to start off with studies have shown, studies have shown. But now I find myself saying studies have shown, but studies have shown truly that drumming alters the brain literally by increasing the neuroplasticity with the corpus callosum, which is the connection between the 2 brain hemispheres. But you've got to know that humming literally physically changes your respiratory chemistry. Humming produces an oscillating airflow. If you want to hum now, since you're on mute, you can do it. That ventilates our sinuses and releases something called nitrous oxide. And nitric oxide is good for regulating our blood flow, increasing our immune defenses, augmenting our neurotransmission, and speeding up our thought processes. So, you know, when you're talking about like longevity in life, we talk about music and using it with Alzheimer's and increasing our memory, but also breathing better. You breathe better, you heal better when you hum and sing while you breathe. So we should be breathing all the time. So check this out. I don't know if you've heard about the Glass Brain Project, but I don't know if you remember the Grateful Dead. Love them. But Mickey Hart, the drummer, has this project. This is his brain right now on the image on drums. This is your brain on drums. Do you remember that whole thing? This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain on drums. It shows how both hemispheres of the brain light up when you're drumming. And so studies done by the National Institutes of Health, as well as Stanford Medical School and UC San Francisco Med, show that drumming alters the brain by increasing brain functionality and neuroplasticity by increasing the volume. It actually makes your brain grow so that you have higher cognitive function, increased timing, and working memory. And so we hear a lot of music about I hear a lot of studies about memory and Alzheimer's, but when you couple humming and drumming together with it, it gets even stronger and more powerful. And so we're going to look a little bit at that now. And these practices are as old as time. We know around the globe that humming stimulates your vagus nerve, which runs through your vocal cords, that shifts you towards the rest and digest. But when you hum on the exhale, which is known as yogic brahmari, It's a self-applied vagal stimulation through your vocal cords vibrating. And so, I have a friend who's a famous astrologer. You might know her, Jude, called Caroline Casey. And whenever we're preparing for our solstice or equinox performances, she'll process her thoughts by going, And you think about people that do that a lot, it stimulates this calming vibration and clarity of thought. So start humming, y'all. Start And while you're sitting and meditating and chanting Om, which is essentially a hum, Om, it's actually the fullest hum there is because it activates the full vagal nerve branches within the face. Add some rhythmic tapping to your chest. Just the way Tammy was asking us to check in on our pulse and heartbeat, start drumming on your chest, start tapping, and that will really activate our body's innate healing power to increase our endorphins, decrease our stress hormone cortisol by 18%. And I found that out. I was like, 18%, that's a lot. And we know now that drumming also reduces hyperactivity by increasing blood flow to regions of the brain dedicated to self-regulation and inhibitory control, which aids in anger management, as well as controlling physical violent outbursts. This is talking about culture of peace. Yay. And so now these sessions are called drum intervention sessions and are used in medical facilities, prisons, and now overseas in refugee camps in a program I founded called Drums Not Bombs, which is actually really very cool. So I'm going to play something from the places that I've been. Here's something right here.
We are the children of Palestine. We are the children of the Holy Land. We are living in poverty in the villaging towns and big city. We seek a change, not charity. We seek a change, not charity. If poor shelter play a school is not for me, only for you, then what is freedom? What is right?
I love that little girl. She actually wrote that song. She heard I was coming. So like Tess said, I do a lot of work with UNHCR and the State Department, and they sent me on this particular envoy to go to Palestine to help these refugee children doing their first ever Palestinian Idol as the international celebrity judge for this contest. I don't know why anybody would think that pitting people against each other that already feel the wrath of comparison, this was a good idea, but they did. The intention was to create a space of hope. But the pressure on these kids was a lot. They were expected to be the winner for their entire refugee camp and community. And when they whittled down the contestants from thousands to 12 kids, it felt like a pressure cooker for these kids. And even though they were only between the ages of 9 and 17, they were losing their voices. They were stressing out like it was too much. But then we got them singing and drumming. And one of the boys said to me, "Sit, Ami." Sit means ma'am. "I used to want to bomb, but now I want to drum. You teach me to bomb, not drum," which is where the name of the drum program came from. And to me, that was so incredible. And this is just one example of many. There are so many places still that girls and women are forbidden to touch the drum. You said go. Okay, now everybody join in together. So I'm on the board of Women Drummers International, and we put on an annual Women Drummers Festival called Born to Drum. It's actually next week. It'll be our 20-year anniversary, and it's founded by women drummers who were tired of being kept out of sacred ceremonial spaces because they were women. And we need to know that drumming elevates dopamine, and alongside oxytocin, these neurochemicals boost our mood regulation and social bonding, which is critical for creating a global culture of peace. And we now know that drumming together and singing together creates something called the monkey grooming effect. Okay, so those monkeys, I don't know if you actually can see them, but yeah, it's real evolutionary science. In primates, one-on-one grooming releases endorphins and builds closeness, but it doesn't scale past 50 individuals. And so they did some research, and they argue now that humans have evolved a workaround. And our workaround, since we're not going to go around picking bugs off of each other, our workaround is by singing, drumming, laughing, and dancing together. We release the same endorphin system, which elevates our social connection, and we can groom each other by having fun and being in alignment. And it's also an icebreaker effect. We found out that singers And they did a study with singers and non-singers, and they put them in the same room, and they found that singers connected faster simply through the act of singing. And their conclusion is this is how we evolved to quickly bond with large groups of each other. And so they really did this with large groups, particularly in protest movements. And I did a study I taught at the California Jazz Conservatory, and this class was called Songs in the Key of Freedom. And we looked at how protest music was the driving force behind successful movements, such as the Civil Rights Movement. And, you know, we know that singing together releases oxytocin, which is the joy hormone. But findings are profound in the nuance, because oxytocin increases when you sing in community with one another. Kirtan songs, joyful raising of voice together. But when you do it either alone or in a competitive space, it decreases the level of oxytocin. So this Palestinian Idol thing that they were trying to do was actually causing these children to get stressed out. They weren't joyful. It was really powerful. And so that is why we talk about this right at the beginning. Anytime I work with students that want me to teach them how to get onto shows like The Voice or American Idol, we talk about this very thing. And so it's more than evidence. It's life. And we really want to look at what happens more than anything else is that when we are in a space where we are forbidden to make sound, when we are silenced, what happens to our bodies then? And you know, before you were taught to be quiet, you had a sound that was yours alone. You had it as a baby. Before language, before manners, before you understood that some sounds were welcome and others weren't, that sound was you, unedited. What Gary was talking about, this kind of internal core resonance that we have. And something happens to most of us where along the way, it's not dramatic, but you hear things like lower your voice, you're too loud, not now, stop. And we've learned when we were safe to make sound and when we weren't. And so we made ourselves smaller by swallowing our own sound. And so I want to tell you why that's applicable, especially today. I want to tell you about a bus. In Lebanon, I was asked to board a bus that would carry me deep into a place that appears on no map, this hidden place where Iraqi refugee families were living out of sight of the world, and mothers and their children were hiding twice over because they had fled the war in Iraq, and then they fled again, this time from their own husbands, because men that were so broken by what war does to the human spirit, carrying a PTSD so severe, they had come to believe that death was kinder than a life lived as a refugee. So some of them tried to take their families with them into that death. And these women ran, they gathered their children, they disappeared into a hiding space so complete, so silent that survival itself became a discipline. And these children learned that discipline in their bodies to stay hidden. So they stopped playing, they stopped smiling, they stopped speaking, they stopped reaching for their mothers, they stopped interacting with the world at all. Silence had kept them alive. So silence became who they were. And that's the power of being silenced. It doesn't simply close a mouth, it closes a life. So I came onto this bus carrying these huge drums and instruments and sound. I had been sent there to help these children remember something their bodies had been forced to forget, that they were allowed to make sound. And it took time. You can't rush a child out of the very thing that kept them alive. It took patience, it took presence, and it took a moment. I literally had to place the drum in front of them and put their hand on it and allow them in that silence and honoring their silence until they slowly began to trust and understand that this space was safe again. And here's what happened.
My name is Amikaela Gaston. I am a jazz singer and a musician here with the Iraqi Voices Amplification Project. The reason that I came was to really bring voice to the Iraqi refugee crisis that's happening right now. To me, music is the highest form of spirituality. The minute we started sharing music, it touched a heart place and a soul place that all the other dialogue couldn't get to. It was amazing. We got together with 60 kids. They were beautiful Iraqi refugee children. They were excited, they were vibrant. We got to ride on the bus with them and sing songs that they knew and loved. And they taught us Arabic, and then we taught them English. And we shared songs and we played instruments. And initially a language barrier, but there was no fun barrier. Be able to sing songs that they knew when they were kids or sing songs that they're learning today on the radio. That brings out this heart space that you don't get very often. It was incredible to visit these families in their homes, to see how even if they had just one bottle of water, they were going to share it with us. Something magical happened, and we all started singing and dancing, and there were 12 of us crammed in this space, dancing and twirling and singing, and we knocked over a table filled with all of our drinks, and no one cared. At first, we started trying to clean it up, and they were like, no, keep dancing, because it's such a release. The arts just bring out such joy and full expression of self that you can't see in any other format, and that these people, we all need so much. The last family that we sat in with, they were very heartbroken because their daughter is still in Iraq. They were unable to see her or talk to her, and they miss her terribly. And I asked her, were there any songs that she could share with me? And she said she had nothing to give anymore, that all of her memories had been erased. She asked me to sing a song for her, and I sang A Blessing. And she started to cry and said it reminded her of her daughter, and she felt really, really hopeful after that. Which is why I took this trip to work with Iraqi refugees, which is why I work with children, which is why I work in hospice centers and places where people need healing. I heal through music. I sing to the soul, and that's my life's calling.
And you know, I went to Qatar last year, and they have a new tradition there where women are no longer allowed to sing. Women are no longer allowed to have their grandmother sing to the grandchildren. Little girls are no longer allowed to sing. And I literally wept and collapsed to the ground when I heard this. So in honor of those who are forbidden to share their soul through self-expression and song, please don't do it just for your well-being. Do it for theirs as well. Because, you know, I know the wrath of this. As a victim of a hate crime where 5 men ran me over with a truck, I spent 3 months in an intensive care burn unit where the doctors told me I would never walk again. I died on that road, and I came back, and in that hospital room, before I could move, before I could do anything, my musician friends came, honey. My drummer friends came. Every tradition that I had ever been part of, my Celtic, my Celtic band brothers and sisters, my African brothers and sisters, everybody from all the different walks of life and music came, and they played. And somewhere in the middle of all that pain, I started to hum. It was the only sound I could make. I couldn't talk. I could just hum. And it was that intention, that sound that needed to come out. That was the way that I came back. That is the way that I found my voice again, to remind myself to live, to be alive, because that road home, it belongs to everyone. It really does belong to everyone, because sometimes connecting is beyond words. It's sound, humming and drumming. It's about coming home to the sound that was yours before the world taught you to edit it, to the vibration in your own chest that knows exactly what you need before your mind figures it out. Your sound is your medicine, and that's how your nervous system shifts through it. It's through the simple, ancient, democratic act of sound. Not to become a singer or a drummer, to remember that you are the instrument and everything is already inside of you. And so in closing, let us remember, and do this together if we want, please, to just truly, while we've been feeling our heartbeats, just give your face a lovely little quick massage. Massaging your face actually stimulates your vagus nerve and helps with all of this rest and digest. And if you could just breathe in for 4, and on your heart, breathe out. And again, and know that I shower you with love and light, gratitude and graceful ease for your life. And may you always feel connected to your soul through the simple practice of hum and drum. Thank you.
Well, Amikaela, how fantastic, dear one. This is so your
Yay.
deep experience and blessing you bring to so many. But to share this is really such a gift.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, family. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yes, well, another perspective on life, energetics, the vibrational intelligence. And some people also say that music is but a reflection of the energy of the universe, of the spirit beyond. And so now let us turn to the powerful experience by Rick Lukens. I'll introduce Rick. We've known each other, known of each other for many years, but just connected over this last year through LinkedIn. And just like, what a delight. So let me tell you about Rick. Rick is is a veteran producer of dozens of groundbreaking events and the simulcast connecting them to millions of people across the planet. Rick Lukens' unique genius lies in pairing concert and festivals with a higher mission that crosses cultural, geographic, and social divides. A next stage communications technology pioneer, Rick has spent the past 4 decades orchestrating world-class live events to support humanitarian, environmental, and social causes. He has assisted in the production of some of the most iconic cause-related events in history, such as the first live interactive space bridge between the former Soviet Union and the United States. He was in the Live Aid concert with producers, and also the White House Conference on Global Climate Change and events for the United Nations and many others. So just delighted to have you here, Rick. And you have been in the middle of great music and the energetics and the impact that can and does have in a wide swath of humanity. So welcome.
Well, I thank you, David and Tez. What a pleasure to be here. And I just would like to send my love to everybody that's on this Zoom. It seems like quite a wonderful gathering, and I'm just so honored to be here. I don't have much of a presentation, but I did want to talk a little bit about my work and in the world. I've been on a mission to make the world a better place, like everybody on this call, I think. I use gatherings, events, music, technology to bring the world closer together and share our love and our humanity for each other, and hopefully to break down some barriers that keep us separate, because we aren't separate. We're one thing. Something I learned early was that the vibration of music fills a space inside of us. If you look at your atoms that make up our molecules that make up our bodies, there is nothing but space in there, vast amount of space. And vibration, music, love, light, that all enters into that space and is transformational. And I've just been really blessed to be a thread that has gone through so many of these cause-related events, whether it's Amnesty International Human Rights or these music festivals in the early 80s that we linked to the Soviet Union under Brezhnev, when rock music was more than highly illegal. These were breakthrough moments through music, and the emotion and the joy that music brings to people is really profound. I watch music videos, certain ones that touch me every single time. There's a a beautiful song from an Okinawan friend called Hana. I don't understand a word in it. It's in Japanese. I cry every time I hear that song. And it's a vibrational thing. Like I say, I don't even have a clue what the lyrics are, but it doesn't matter. It's encoded somehow, and it resonates in a deep way. After those first satellite links to the Soviet Union in 82 and 83, I had a dear friend who was founder of Pathways to Peace, Avon Madison. And Avon made a call, and she encouraged Hal Uplinger, a producer on Live Aid, to bring me in as the international director of Live Aid. And that was a pivotal moment in my life that I contribute to Avon. None of us made any money, but we were told it was going to look really good on our resumes. And the phone has literally rung ever since with people that want support in making their dreams come true. And I wait. I don't even have a desire to know what's next in my life. I just allow the quantum field to do its thing, and it works really, really well if you relax into that. So, like I said, I don't really have a presentation, but I'm still very active in using music and art and culture for peace and more love in the world. I have a project with the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Peace School called Architects of Peace. And I'm working with one of David's friends, David Gershon, on Peace Aid and many other opportunities. They come daily, and I connect people through my network and my associates' networks, and we're able to come together and go apart and pull off some of the more interesting events that have helped to further the humanitarian mission that I think we're all a part of. So, David, I just congratulate you on what you're doing to pull groups like this together. We've just had an interesting announcement 2 days ago. I have two colleagues that I work with, Rebecca Irby, that I know is on this call from the Peak Institute, and Peter Young from Hubcast. And we just announced 2 days ago that we're opening a media center at the church building across the street from the United Nations to service the civil society groups that are associated with the UN, the co-NGO groups, as well as anybody else from any other NGO that comes through the door that wants support with media and getting their message recorded and out to the world through the Hubcast platform. And so we're not slowing down, we're just speeding up. And I must say, in the last 3 months, I'm sure many of you can resonate with how things feel like they're speeding up. So I would encourage everyone on the call. My door is wide open, and I never know what's going to come next. And that's the beauty of living in this life. And I'll put my website in the chat and my email and probably even my phone number. And, if you have ideas, if you have projects, if you want to connect some dots, make, a humanitarian event go, let's get going. There's still, in 1986, after Live Aid, I worked at the United Nations on a 24-hour global event that was going to, we were well into it with the producers from Live Aid that were my partners. And our sponsor, who wanted to reverse engineer Live Aid, we decided that we didn't want to do that. So that event didn't manifest, but we've been working in that direction ever since. And we're ready, and I think the world is ready. The next generation is ready for a moment that can resonate for them like Live Aid did for my generation and many people on this call. You know, we remember where we are when we hear music, certain songs, and they touch our emotions, and they leave a mark. And that's why when we hear a song and we associate it with a life memory, it's very unique. So technology can bring us together like we are right now, but I think the music and the vibrational frequency that it can impart to a body and mind and heart is so important. So I'm still working with many others on global events that the world needs. I mean, we need a moment for our younger generation like we had, and we just need to reach out to each other. The biggest thing I came away with from these early links to the Soviet Union and the US when tensions were at their highest in the Cold War, the Soviet friends I had and now the Russian friends I have, they were just so moved that anybody cared enough to call them up and talk to them. Excuse me. That seems very simple, but very meaningful. You know, just care enough to love your neighbor as you love yourself and your family and your friends, and the rest, I think, will take care of itself. And we need to move to a culture of peace. That's why I'm working on large peace events. And it all just kind of boils down to let's all do our part. We all have a role to play. There's no great leader that's going to solve our global issues. You know, it's people to people.
Yes.
And I've always enjoyed that. And I've met so many wonderful people because of these events. And we keep doing it. We're not slowing down at all. We're just speeding up. So if you have an idea, if you want to join in, make a contribution of your, you know, thoughts and wishes and dreams and say some prayers and put good energy towards good things happening. You know, my company is called United Earth Networks, and it's really as much a production company as a relationship management company. You know, we just know people that know people, and before you know it, you're right sitting at the table with the right person at the right time, and you don't even have to think about it. It just is what the universe provides. So again, I'll put a link in the chat, and I hope to hear from anybody anytime about anything. I'm always open. So thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Tez, for
Thank
inviting me.
you. Thank you,
Appreciate
Rick.
it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Love it.
And
Thank you. This is
we
wonderful,
are,
Rick.
go ahead, David. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, please, you go ahead.
We're a little bit over our promised time. And
Okay.
so we'd love, and we don't regret that because we've loved every moment of every part of this. And I think probably all of you have as well. So thank you for being here. We have a beautiful closing, a beautiful song from that some of you might recognize, but sung and performed by our beautiful Amikaela. And so we're going to play that song as you leave. But if you'd like to take a moment or feel you need to take a moment to put in the chat anything about it in any way that you've been moved by your experience today, or anything that you've learned, or anything that you feel you'd like to share before you leave this sacred time together. We just encourage you to put that in the chat, and you've been great at using the chat. There's so much good stuff there. But as we leave and play this beautiful song from Amikaela, you can feel free to leave when you feel moved to leave. Put whatever you'd like in the chat so that you feel good about moving into the rest of your day. And we just really thank you for being here. And at Pathways to Peace, we say, just remember that you are a pathway to peace. And
Yes,
peace
indeed. Yes,
prevails on earth. So with that,
before we do, I would just like to add, I would suggest or recommend that we not just dash off to our next event, to our next phone call, just take a few minutes, take 5 minutes to sit and absorb what we've just experienced. Let it come into us, what has really been meaningful, what's touched us, so we can really benefit all the more from this wonderful gathering, wonderful experience.
Yes, thank you. And so, Emma, if you'd like to play A Lovely Day. You can move. We encourage you to move your body.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Oh, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be, oh, a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, then someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Oh, oh. Then I look at you, oh, and the world's all right with me. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Ooh, it's gonna be a lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day. Oh, yeah, kick it, that's me.
Feel that vibration.
Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So much
Bravo.
love. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Thank
Yay,
you.
Amikaela.
Yay. Thank you to all of our incredible presenters and all of you. Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you all so much. What a beautiful way to start the day. Yay,
Yeah.
lovely day. Woohoo!
In the flow. Rick says we're just starting.
That's right. Much love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.